News, AskReddit would like to acknowledge the current state of emergency declared in Australia. The 2019 to 2020 bushfires have destroyed over 2,500 buildings, including over 1,900 houses, and killed 27 people as of January 7, 2020. Currently a massive effort is underway to tackle these fires and keep people, homes, and animals safe. Our thoughts are with them and those that have been impacted. Please use this thread to discuss the impact that the Australian bushfires have had on yourself and your loved ones, offer emotional support to your fellow Redditors, and share breaking and ongoing news stories regarding this subject. Thank you for this. My thoughts go out to everyone in Australia. Same goes for koalas, kangaroos, and all the other animals too. The photos and videos of them being affected are so sad. I hope this isn't a stupid question or ignorant, but how did these start? Do we know? In addition to the loss of human life and homes/buildings, an estimated 780 million animals have died in the fires. As a Californian, I thought our wildfires are bad, but this is nothing compared to Australia. It's the most apocalyptic thing I've seen. How much is the percentage that has consumed this fire in green areas currently? My thoughts towards the Australians living this awful event and who can't leave their home because of the air quality. Special thought for the ones who lost someone/their house or got evacuated. It must feel like a nightmare, and I hope things will go back to normal soon. Skeptical. And #X200B. Lots of love from France. Don't give up, guys. This should be a fucking crisis. This right here can happen someplace else, and will extinguish humans. I don't understand why we don't treat our precious Earth better. The cause of our extinction will be us. Australia needs better leaders. If someone has done the research, that'll save me some time. Which of these agencies, or perhaps another, provides the greatest percentage of donations to actual relief/assistance? With fires at these scales, is there really anything you can do to fight them? I heard stories about cinders and burning leaves landing in the middle of Sydney, and I think, how can you even prevent these flames from spreading on this scale when you can have new fires starting all the time? Thank you for this post. I'm in Victoria, where East Coast has gone up in flames, but I'm on the other side of Melbourne, so I'm safe. The main impact for me is on my mental health. We are affected by haze, and having a small baby, I've been housebound. What I want you to know is that the majority of our fireys are volunteers. They are giving up so much to fight. In all honesty, the whole situation is a clusterfuck. I live in Melbourne, far away from the bushfires. Last few days, we had rain, especially yesterday. I thought rain equals good, but news saying it can worsen the fires. Why? I'm so confused. Does the rainwater help put it out? A couple questions from an uninformed American. 1. How has climate change precipitated these fires? 2. Are fires like this at this scale common for the region? I live in the Blue Mountains, which is west of Sydney. The Blue Mountains, if you didn't know, is part of the Great Dividing Range and thus a national park. We are quite literally surrounded by fires from the north to the south. At any moment the wind could change and could wipe out potentially hundreds of homes, mine included. We have never seen anything this big before. Fires are normal for us, but this scale of fires is absolutely insane. However, I want to thank the rest of the world got their generosity at this times. It is truly heartwarming to see so many people give support from all corners of the globe. Peace be with you, and I hope the rain heads our way. Do you think tourism to Australia is helpful or hurtful? I was planning on visiting Australia in June, because I've always wanted to go, and I am thinking they can probably really use the tourism dollars after this disaster. But maybe I should wait longer? I used to play video games with this guy from Australia. We have thousands of hours together, and I just got in contact again recently. He lost his house to the fires. It breaks my heart to know how serious the government let the fires get. He lost countless personal, priceless objects, including his Xbox 360 that he spent so much time with me on it. I am just hoping that enough will be done to stop these fires as quickly as possible, so no one else has to go through what my friend had to. My grandparents live in Australia and I'm really worried for them. The lack of proactivity in the Australian government is the reason to blame for this. The RFS requested for extra funds so they would be able to help avoid this crisis, and Smoko flat out rejected them. The incompetence of the Australian government has affected millions of people in our country as well as people in New Zealand. Not to mention, a true leader wouldn't have run away after a photo op in a distraught community. Edit, now with added link to show the pointlessness of focusing on arsonists. https://www.abc.net.au/news/2020/0111/Australia's fires reveal arson not a major cause /11855022 FPLD equals I war 3B3MYB9 Buck 5D60 Sltink 9 Hz 8W3VH1DQ9 AC7 RHPXN1ZX_BsBG. Moving the focus to individual fire starters has been one of the ongoing parade of distractions put out by the government to keep focus off their complete lack of preparation and acknowledgement of the changing climate and its effect on fire season. Climate change didn't start the fires, it was billed as basically the same as the guns don't kill people argument. Yes, some dickhead probably did some burning during a fire ban, but how long and how destructive the fires were is really where the focus should be here. We are in one of the areas bordering one of the larger fires in Victoria. Luckily no lives lost and only minimal property loss where we are. The smoke impact however has been extreme at times, and we left for Melbourne last weekend as my wife and kids were both suffering asthma attacks. We came back 2 days later when the smoke had eased a bit, still at hazardous levels, but smoke levels were looking at being very high for weeks, and we can't stay away that long. Yesterday we evacuated again, this time to an army barracks a short drive away where they had accommodation, and were happy for people to bring pets with them. We've been put up in a dorm with 4 beds, AC, a bathroom and even a TV. Much better conditions than we were expecting. There's meals at the mess 3 times a day, a swimming pool and other facilities available for evacuees to use. As it's not an operational base, is a lot more relaxed than we were expecting. Unfortunately we were hit with a couple of unforeseen events, with a grass fire nearby putting the barracks on alert. This coincided with us losing power, and no backup power other than emergency lighting. The defense personnel are doing an amazing job under difficult circumstances. It's clear that evacuations of this scale aren't something there was already a plan for, but they're doing great under the circumstances. I half expected that by next fire season there will already be plans and processes in place for running defense facilities as relief centers. Hopefully we'll be back home in the next day or 2 when conditions have improved. Lastly, if you want to help donate funds or volunteer, there's been a deluge of donated items, much more than is immediately needed, which has resulted in resources being diverted to managing this, rather than working on more pressing needs. I work around 5 minutes away from the fires, and both my grandparents and my great-grandfather live in areas very close by also. My great-grandfather, who is 92, has been evacuated 3 times and were worried that if the fire does properly come through, he might be asleep or choose to ignore the evacuation procedures and stay at home. A fire started at a neighboring property to my work. 3 fire trucks came and attempted to control a pretty decent-sized blaze. It made things so much more real when it's right on your doorstep. My livelihood and my family are in danger here, and it's pretty worrying. The speed at which these fires love mean that one night you may go out to dinner and you might come home to nothing but ashes. My family is on high alert, as well as my employer. I'm not sure how all our lives might change, but even being this worried, we're still the lucky ones as many are much worse off. These last few months have been pretty scary.